Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Whiskey, and welcome back to another episode of Movement here on the Movement SMP, the Minecraft modded series that Pete has started for a bunch of creators, as well as that is available now for you guys to be able to download and play along. If you want more information about that, go ahead and check down below in the link. There's a download to the mod pack, all that for the Curse launcher, Twitch launcher. Yeah, it's called the Twitch launcher now, not Curse. But anyways, yeah, so we're back here on Movement. And it's been a while since I've posted on YouTube. I think it's been a little over a week, maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks. Yeah, it's been a while. Unfortunately, I haven't really posted a lot. I have been streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/WhiskeyBravo live. You want to see me over there? We do pretty well, like 4 streams a week right now. It's kind of what we've been doing, and it's primarily been only movement stuff. And we've been working on a lot of stuff, and I'm going to kind of catch you up today and kind of run through what we have done since the last YouTube video. So I think on the last video, I don't even remember what it was about. I think it was the unlimited XP video I posted, maybe that was the last one. I'm not entirely sure. But there have been some stuff that have kind of been changed since that. Like, we are running version 1.2 for the mod pack now. So we have new mods that were added, as well as just some other little changes and stuff. Like the big one being in our skills, we do have skills that are locked out now. So I think the main one was, it's not even on here for me to show anymore. Oh no, it's back. Okay, I don't know if Pete knows that. I might have to tell him. What kind of had happened in the last update was that the miner perk that you could get, where any block you break, essentially dirt, stone, cobble, whatever, gave you XP orbs, and it caused kind of a bit of a lag for the server, and yeah, that wasn't great. So that was kind of disabled, and it looks like it's not disabled now, so I'm not gonna abuse that. We're not gonna do that. I have 53 levels anyway, but we don't really need 53 levels. But the first thing you might notice is that, Whiskey, your armor is not that pinkish purple that it was. It's not amethyst anymore, and you'd be right. If we look at our armor, we actually have Insanium, a full set of Insanium armor now. I'm still using my amethyst pick and stuff, and I still have this for looting purposes. But we do have a sword that does 56 damage per hit. Like, I think I 3-shot like a wither the other day. It was awesome. But with this Insanium armor does come like just a huge increase in armor protection, as well as some additional modules that you can add to your armor on top of just regular enchants. So like you can see on my helmet here, we have our regular enchants that you can do with book enchanting. So we have like air infinity, we have protection, we have Gorman, and prop 5 literally on everything. But we do have this other enchant on here called absorption. We have flight, we have speed, and we have health boost here. So this is kind of why, like, if you look down at my harps, you see that it's not red. It's actually like, there's red, then there's orange, and then there's yellow on top of it, which was a new kind of visual change that got made with this update. But anyways, yeah, so this is basically the top armor you can have. It is super expensive to make. Like, if I was to type in Insanium armor here, we'll just use the chest piece as an example. To make the chest piece, you have to have Insanium ingots and Insanium gemstones, and then a Supremium chest plate on top of that. And then for the Supremium, you have to go through, have the ingots and the gemstones, as well as an Imperium, and so on and so forth. So this is huge. Like, just one Insanium, or not Insanium. Just one Insanium dust here takes 1092 something Imperium essence. And so, like, because it has to go through iterations of 4 every single time, like bam, bam. Like, it's nuts how expensive that is. And you might be wondering, how'd you get so much? Like, how are you guys that far ahead, or how have you like progressed to this point without like having YouTube stuff on it? And which is kind of like the main point of this video here. Oh, hello, Mr. Goblin. What do you got? Efficiency, quick charge, nothing I really want, so I'm just gonna leave you. So we're gonna touch on how we have gotten to that point, what we've been doing. Myself, Choco, and Ashley. Ashley's kind of just been building stuff. She's also has a broken sleep schedule. So she's streaming at different hours, but she's doing primarily like art commissions and stuff like that. Her link's down below. Check her out. She does amazing work. She does all my artwork for the channel. Anyway, so not much has changed here at the main house. I don't remember exactly what we had down here. I think for the most part, like everything in the main house kind of looks the same. Like we have some crafters here that weren't here last time. Crafters basically allow you to make patterns to auto craft things to where you don't have to manually go through and click and do something every time. Like for example, if I change this to craft only, I can craft up a piston just by clicking one button and clicking start, and it'll go ahead and it'll generate it. It'll craft it without me having to go in and actually do it myself, which is really handy when you're like crafting up these sowers or plant gatherers, those kinds of things, which you're going to understand why we have the patterns for it a little bit later into the video. So yeah, nothing major has changed here at the farm. I haven't really done anything new with the villagers. They're still their same boring selves, because at a point it doesn't really make sense to do much with the villagers right now, other than librarians who have access to all the books that you could possibly get. Like, other than that, there's really nothing to do with them. I did find a mystical biome, and we got some new trees here as well, so that's kind of cool. But the big thing, the big hole that I wasn't even going to address, Choco did find a slime chunk as well. So me and Ashley spent that time going through and slaying slime one day for like 3 hours straight, and there was a slime chunk literally right next to us. So that kind of aggravated us. But you might remember the farm over here that Choco had built up, and it was a nice little, like, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, an 11 by 11 plot of Insanium farmland with Inferium seeds. And this was massive for us. This was huge. It was like allowing us to produce a lot of Inferium per day. I would actually like just be here AFK. We have our watering can that you can actually set to auto click. Not even auto clicking. It's just you shift click it in the air and it actually activates the auto water. So what I would do when I was done and not doing anything for the day, I would sit here in this little box and I would just water the plots and have the farmer perk on, and this would, I mean, get us around, I think like 200,000, maybe 120,000, depending on if I was active and kind of paying attention and not letting the server kick me after so long. But we would get quite a bit of Inferium essence from this, which then allowed us to upgrade that into, you know, all these other different types, allowed us to craft the Insanium, which, like, we have a lot of Insanium currently. We're going to go ahead and sleep away the night. But yeah, so this was kind of our farm, and it was small. We had a lot of people come from like the other channels and say like, oh, your guys' farm is small compared to everybody else's. And we're like, yeah, no, we know that. We're working on something. We're working on something for that. So we have this farm up. We don't use it anymore. I don't even come here for anything unless I'm working with like the solution chamber to make the range upgrades for the planters and the sowers, or if I am testing to try to build an auto tree farm kind of thing. We have our fluid extractors for producing rubber and latex and all that kind of stuff, and nothing really for the most part. I can't remember if I did this part on stream or YouTube. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was good for what we needed. It allowed us to get to a point where we could have the stuff we needed and all that kind of stuff. And I was like not even going to get Insanium armor until Ashley and me were both online and I was recording for an episode. But that kind of went wayside when Ashley's sleep schedule went out the window. And I was needing to actually have access to flight to work on the next thing. And the next thing is we're going to actually go back over to the house, and I'm going to use the waystones, because I have deleted my homes for other things that we're not getting into today. But waystones are kind of awesome. If you guys are playing along, highly recommend you look into waystones. They're not super expensive to get into. I think it's like ender pearls and emeralds and basic other materials, and you can craft them. You set them up at your house, you right click on it, and it activates it. So we currently have 3 that we have access to. Ashuri Estates, which is actually a new house. I might touch on that at the end of the video, maybe, or she could do a video on it, which I don't think she's going to. But we have the Ziggy-Zag, which is under construction. It's not done yet. It still has a lot of work to do. But the Ziggy-Zag is essentially our new farm, and it's called the Ziggy-Zag because it's actually it's a representation of what is called a Ziggurat. And I might have a picture on screen right now showing what a Ziggurat is, like right somewhere like over here. Yeah, maybe. So a ziggurat is like an old, I want to say like Egyptian era style of building, but that is the form that Choco decided to kind of model our farm out of. Me on the first day when he called it the ziggurat, I was just like zigzag. And if you're a 90s kid or 80s kid or just a Spice fan in general, you would probably realize that's from a Spice Girls song, and no shame at all. But this is our new farm, and it's a little messy at the moment. Like, this stuff is not going to be here. This is not going to be here. This is actually just going to be plain and open and everything. But this is our new farm. There are 3 main layers to our farm. You have the inner layer, which is this red farmland, so the Supremium farmland. And this is only for Inferium seeds. So this allows us to have 7, these are all 7x7 plots, by the way. Just because we figured that'd be the most kind of efficient to work with the design we're going, and not really important. But yeah, so we have 12 7x7 plots in our first inner ring here. And this is going nonstop. They each have their own individual planter and sower, or gatherer and sower, to harvest this little 7x7 area, because we figured having a smaller area with one machine, picking an area that is smaller, it has more time to grow and plant and harvest. It's a better opportunity. So it's because it goes one by one. So you might notice on some of these, if it harvests one, yeah, just harvest there. So it actually goes in order. So it starts here and it goes, it checks it. Is this ready? No. Is this ready? No. Ready? No. Ready? No. Ready? No. Ready? No. Until it finds one that is ready on that path. It's like, ready? Yes. Harvest. And then the planter actually comes in behind it and plants a new seed there. And it sometimes on the same cycle, sometimes it's on a different cycle. So sometimes you miss a little, but it's more efficient to have smaller plots and multiple of those, because it just has a quicker chance to harvest it. So first layer is only Inferium. Our second layer is actually where all of our other seeds are at right now. And so there are currently 64 seeds in game that you can have. So if I look up here, seeds, there are 64 different types of, there might be actually a couple new ones with the new mods that were added, but there are 64 different types of seeds that are like, let's see, for an example, cow seed. So you get a cow seed by getting Solium seeds and then soul jars with cows in it and then Protinium essence. What can you do with that? You can actually make cow essence, then gives you the ability to make leather, raw beef, or milk from nothing. So that's the purpose of this farm. The farm is designed to be able to have any material we need, unlimited amounts of source of, to where we don't actually have to go farm and gather and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the plan right now. We have all these new seeds. Like right now, there's only one plot for each seed. But since we have access to, the, I think it was 30 some plots or something in the second ring, and then on the outer ring we have an additional like 40 something or whatever. Only counting it comes out to like 90 plots in total. We have like 90 plots in total, only counting these and then the first part of this. So only this layer, because the outside layer we have decided is just going to be for fuel. So we're going to have our fire seeds, we're going to have coal seeds, stuff like that. And that's going to power our generators and everything along those lines. But I might, if I remember to put it, I actually spent like 2 hours the other night making a graph. I took a picture of this. I went into Photoshop and I actually like started plotting and assigned a plot number to each of these depending on their ring, so we can actually go through and say, okay, well, we need iron is a basic building material. We need to have iron. So we're going to have 3 plots of iron. And so we can actually plot that on our graph and say like, okay, if we're facing north and starting up here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so on and so forth. And we can kind of plot stuff and have just a graph, a easy to follow kind of graph. And hopefully I remembered to put it up on screen and you can see that. So that's kind of the plan on that front. What's going to be planted where, and what I have been doing for the last week and a half. Basically, I've been building this entire thing because all this over here, all this farmland does require essence of some sort. So Inferium farmland requires you to have Inferium for every single block that you want to place. In Supremium, you have to have Supremium farmland. And we made the decision to have Supremium just here for the Inferium, but regular farmland over here because it didn't really make too much of a difference for that front. And you might have seen over in here in this area. So this is kind of like our incubator. When we have a seed that we make, because it's not smart to just make 48 seeds for a 7x7 plot. You actually lose out on a lot of materials if you do it that way, especially when it comes to this stuff right here, the prosperity shards. Prosperity shards are huge, and you actually need them for your gemstones. You need them for like all of this stuff, the ingots, making the seeds, making attunements. Like they are the building blocks for like everything mystical agriculture. And so you need a lot of them. We had like 4K last week and we're down to like 300 right now. So instead of using a lot of that to make the seeds we need, we have what we are calling like the incubator. And basically we make one of that seed, we put it on our exporter to pull the seed out. So we have the wolf seed here. So anytime it harvests, the wolf seed's going down and through and comes back into here and goes into our sower. Right now we have 49, so technically this is done, but you would start out with one seed, it would go, it would auto plant it, it would grow, and it would auto harvest, and it would just repeat that process. And every so often when it has that secondary chance to drop a seed, you'd get an extra seeds from it. So instead of AFKing at the other farm, I've been AFKing here, growing these seeds up and then swapping out when we need. So this one is done, so we technically don't need it anymore. So I'm actually going to run through that process with you. So we take those out, grab all of our new seeds, take the seeds to our next available farm plot, which should be right here if this is powered. Yes, it is. All right, so we're going to go to this 7x7 farm plot over here. We're going to go to the exporter, add the seed into the exporter so it knows, hey, if there's any seeds in our storage network, it needs to be sent here. And then we're going to drop all these seeds into here, and you'll see that it's going in a line and it's actually planting all these. And it'll go through, it'll plant all of them, and then we don't have to do anything with it. This is now a fully automated patch. We never have to worry about it again unless we change stuff out. And the reason these grow so fast over here is because it has a full growth acceleration setup for it. So growth accelerations, there are 5 types. You have your Inferium, your Protinium, your whateverium, Supremium, all that kind of stuff. Every type of essence there is a growth accelerator that corresponds with it. Each of these growth accelerators, so if I type in here and look at it, so growth accelerators, so each of these have a range that they work. And there's been some confusion on the server, but we have actually tested it out and found that the range is 12 blocks. So that means it has a 12 block vertical range that it works. It's not horizontal, so you can't place one down in one center spot and then have it go out 12 degrees. It has a range of 12 blocks, meaning that I can place the one down and then place another one under it, and it will work straight up and down. So this increases by 12 with every tier. So when you have the Inferium, it's 12. Protinium, it is 24. Deuterium, 36, so on until you get to 60 with the Supremium. Joko and I did some testing on a solo world and found that having a tiered one, so 12, then 12, then 12, then 12, as opposed to just 60 Supremium, actually is just like a fraction slower. The Supremium technically is a lot faster. Well, I say a lot, but it's a little faster. And over time, yes, you could justify that you're getting more yields from it. But when you look at the, they already slept. Okay. When you look at the overall growth of it, and the cost efficiency, it's actually a lot smarter to do it this way, because each of these growth accelerators costs 4 Inferium essence and then 1 gemstone, which is 2 Inferium essence, and a prosperity gemstone, which is 4 prosperity shards and a diamond. So you get 3 of that from it. But when I did the math for one 13x13 plot, because originally we were thinking about 13x13 plots, for one 13x13 plot to have a full Supremium growth accelerator, it turned out to be like 5.4 million Inferium essence that you would need to craft one 13x13 plot going down 60 blocks. And when you do it this way, it's only like 1.2 million for a 13 by 13. So you can see it is a huge, huge difference there. So we have for our little hatchery essence, so we can actually just spare a lot of time, we have a full 12, 12, 12, 12, 12 range of 60 growth accelerator set up, which is just ridiculous, and it makes things go a lot faster. And then you actually probably are noticing all of the Inferium growth accelerator blocks we have here as well right now. So our initial plan is we are accelerating all of these and building the growth accelerators stage by stage. So each of these blocks, each of these plots are getting 12 put on them, 12 vertical blocks put on them per block. So and we're working and starting with the Inferium first so that our Inferium production is increased. I don't know the actual fold number, we'll say 12 fold, to produce more, to where we get more Inferium to craft the others. So our initial goal here is to make all of these be 12 and then come in with the Protinium, the Protinium, and then do the Protinium next, and then do that next. And then once we have this maxed out and we have the maximal possibility for how much Inferium essence we're making, we're actually going to change that and then start going on our outside plots. And we're going to be working on the outside plots and getting those up and going and having that maxed out. Now, this isn't as efficient as it could be, because technically right now you can see we are running cables out. We are working on that. There is actually going to be, we're going to have network systems set up. So we have these network receiver and sender blocks and all that kind of stuff. And initially, like what we're going to do is just have them underneath each and every one of these, to where we don't lose out on any production value over there. And then we're going to run our, instead of having these guys, these ender gates, we're going to run those on the top side of these, like this one over here, because the cables you can actually waterlog. So we'll run a cable and then we'll run an ender gate on top of it, to where we're not losing out on any growth accelerator placement blocks. Because like technically, I think it's like right here. So these guys are missing out on one additional growth accelerator that these guys are not. Or it might be two. It might be 2 blocks. No, it's only one. Okay. Yeah, so we're missing out on 1 block there, which is not really a big deal, but for making things look nice, clean, and concise, that's kind of the plan we're going to go for. So eventually, what we're going to have is this whole thing right there is going to be filled out all the way over onto every single one of these plots, to where each plot is the most efficient it could be, and we have unlimited resources. Now, next question you might be wondering is, Whiskey, if you have unlimited resources, how on earth are you going to store that? Because those storage cards that you have, let's see here, storage. So these storage disks, they only hold a certain amount. Like you can only get a 64K bit storage disk, and that, you know, that fills up kind of fast. Like how are you, like you're already on a lot of these, you know, you're already kind of almost maxed out. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna like have multiple drives? Are you gonna be whatever? Well, to that, luckily we don't have to, because I have a gambling and opening addiction problem, and yeah, we opened some of these things called chance cube globes. Yeah, chance globes that have a chance to give you any item that's in the mod pack at all. And I pulled a creative storage disk out of one of them, and you might have saw one of the crew members, they also have been doing those, and they pulled one out. But yeah, so we have a creative storage disk here, and you can see that this thing has no limits. You can put as much into it as you want. So currently right now there's 523,780 items stored into this thing, and you see that number just going up crazily, and like for good reason. We have 678,000 Inferium essence right now. Like that is like in light, like let's see, calculator here. We're going to do, so if I do that by 256 is what one premium essence equals to that. So let's go with 200, or no, 6,000, and we'll just say 80,000. Divide that by 256, that gives us 2,656 Inferium essence. If we divide that even by 4 further, that's 664 Insanium essence that we could craft technically right here, right now, without any issue. So yeah, we have been, Choco and myself have been the ones kind of leading the manhunt on this, or the crusade on this kind of thing and building this all out. Choco's the brains behind the operation of the image and what it kind of needs to do and all that, because he's quicker at understanding the mods and explaining it to me. But yeah, so that has kind of been where we've been out here. It's been a lot of me placing blocks, crafting things, getting stuff set up, and then me even starting to like jump in and kind of learn these new mods and how everything works. And it's been a lot of busy work that I didn't think I could justify recording and making an episode out of it until after we were kind of somewhere like this, where I could come in, I could explain what we've been doing, the stuff like that, and not bore you with like a time-lapse video or something, which I didn't even record for time lapses. I wish we had like a replay mod or something that I could, or just have a maybe for the build, maybe for like the actual build part, I can get Pete to let me like have an opt character, not opt, but a spectator character in, and then we can just have this like, you know, for a time lapse of the build or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, so we've been advancing pretty far into that, and we're starting to touch now into some more power kind of stuff. For the most part at the farms, we have just the basic standard power cells and ender cells and all that kind of stuff, which I plan on doing a video on that tonight, actually. Like, so later tonight, I am jumping in to make one of the, what is it called? No, not ender cell, energy cell. I can't spell. Was it the Ender Gates? Actually, Ender Gates. No, not Ender Gates. Is it the Ender Cells? I'm losing my mind right now, chat. I'm losing my mind. Okay, yeah, it is here. So we are going to be later tonight doing a video and walking through people how to get energy, how to store that energy, and all that kind of stuff. So my plan tonight is to make one of these guys, the Energy Cell Nitro. This thing can store 140 million FE and generates around 40k per or 400k per tick. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, but we need it because like we're starting to get into the point where we are running low on things that we can't use seeds for. So the prosperity that I was talking about. So we have plans to literally quarry out like a large chunk of the mining dimension and try just to get prosperity shards from that. But to do that, since it's technically in a different dimension world, like your energy, unless you have somebody loading that chunk, doesn't really want to cooperate and go one place to another and all that. So what I'm doing is making a 140 million battery cell to take there with me so I can quarry out sections of the chunk, come back, charge the battery up, go forth, and try to get more resources. Hopefully that works out. But yeah, that's going to be in the next video. Hopefully that one comes out in a couple days. If this one even went out on time, who knows? I'm kind of losing my mind in quarantine, guys. But I think that's going to be it for today. Other than the fact of we need to go see Ashley's little house. I'll end with that. Actually, we'll end with the Shuri estate that she has built. So this is Ashley's new house that she has built for herself. I don't know if we're gonna move into it or whatever, but she wanted something different and new. So yeah, we have this little thing here. I guess she moved this. Oh no, it's the same name and everything. Okay, because I had it like out here or something, I thought. But anyway, so yeah, this is her house. But guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are not, turn on notifications, come over, see me on Twitch, twitch.tv/WhiskeyBravo live. I've been streaming pretty well most days at like 5 or 6 p.m. CST. Also, feel free to check out all the people down below and the links, all their content on the series. But till next time, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.